Everybody, it's 10 o'clock. We'll get started. Oh, oh, गणानान्त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतान् शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजिभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्यवत् ॐ गणेशाय नमः ॐ सरस्वत्यै नमः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये वागीशाद्य सुमनसः सर्वार्थानामुपक्रमे यं नत्वा कृतकृत्या स्युः तं नमामि गजाननं वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय कोटिसूर्यसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वति नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणे विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ब्रह्मानन्दम् परमसुखदम् केवलम् ज्ञानमूर्तिम् द्वन्द्वातीतम् गगनसदृशम् तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकम् नित्यम् विमलमचलम् सर्वज्ञे साक्षिभूतम् भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्य केशवं बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवत् व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयम् नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् यस्य सन्निधिमात्रेण सर्वे शिष्याश्च सेवकाः कर्मक्षेत्रे प्रवर्तन्ते चिन्मयं तं नमाम्यहम् चिन्मयं तं नमाम्यहम् Hari Om everybody, welcome back. We will get started with our Viveka Choodamani Mangala Charana Shloka. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. So out of the 7 questions the student had asked, after exploring what is anatma and what are the atma lakshanas, last week we started with the topic of bondage, bandhana. But before that, let us chant verse number 49 so that all of the questions come to our mind. O nama bandha कतमेष आगतः कथं प्रतिष्ठास्य कथं विमुक्षः कोऽसावनात्मा परमः क आत्मा तयोर्विवेकः कथमेतदुच्यताम्. First, we saw the answer to question number 5. Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji said, all of this body, the gross body, subtle body, and the causal body, the Gnanendriyas, the Karmendriyas, Prana, Mana, Buddhi, all of these up to the unmanifest universe are all anatma. They belong to the category of asat or unreal. Then we saw the question to answer to question number 6. Paramaha ka atma. What is the nature of atma? We saw several pointers to the nature of atma in our reference verses that we chanted, covered under Viveka Choodamani. Several reference sloka mantras from the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, texts like Atma Bodha, Upadesha Sara, Drugdrishya Viveka, which we have covered. So Vedanta Shastra told me you are Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Atma. You are eternal, Nitya. You are pure. You are ever liberated. But we say our experience is not as such. We don't feel that way. We say, I feel I am limited, Alpagna, Alpashaktiman. I feel I am finite. That led us last week to explore the first question asked by the student. Ko nama bandha. What is this bondage? Vedanta says we feel limited. 3 types of limitations we feel. Limitations due to space, desha, paricheda. Limitations due to time, kala, paricheda. Limitations due to objects, beings, etc. Vastu paricheda. So due to this conditional existence, I also see other Vedas, other differences. Sajatiya Veda, I see the differences within my own species, man, woman, etc. I see the differences with other species, Vijatiya Veda. I am different from cat, dog, etc. Then I see the difference within myself with different type of organs. My hands are different from my legs, etc. Swagata Veda. This Veda Bhava has created what? A limited existence. This is called as Parichinnatva. What is the result of this mistaken notion of that unlimited self as the limited individual, limited ego? So because of this illusory entity called Ahankara, I have given reality to the world outside, its objects outside, beings contained in it. Then, due to my own raga and dvesha, my likes and dislikes that are coming out of my gunas and my karma pala, I superimpose my raga and dvesha on them, and I start to become dependent on this external world for my happiness, for my comfort. Then all the byproducts of my emotions kick in: fear, bhaya, sorrow, shoka, moha, delusion, pain, loss. All these dvandvas will come with this notional identity. Hope you are following me. This delusional identity is called as bandhana in Vedanta. This gets strengthened by two factors: anatmani, atma buddhi, this tadatmya. It is the notion that this anatma is atma. Secondly, it gets strengthened by jagati satyatva buddhi. The world and its objects are real, they are permanent. So now, in short, with this identification with the anatma, I have kartrutva, a sense of doership, that I am the doer, a sense of enjoyership, that I am the enjoyer, bhoktrutva, and I go deeper and deeper into this ocean of samsara. I actually wanted to show this picture pictorially last time, but I couldn't find that. Deeper and deeper into this ocean of samsara. I think this samsara has some sara, some is English, some sara, some sort of essence, but I find out that it is asara. It has no essence whatsoever. How? Like kadali garbhavat, like this trunk or the stem of this plantain tree. Or we can even say, as you peel the stem of this plantain tree, what remains? Nothing remains. Empty. Or the peeling of the onion. It is even better example because it gives us tears as you are doing it. Dukkham. So this avidya or ajnana is the primary cause or the root cause of this bandhana or bondage. Only knowledge alone, Atma Gnana alone, can put an end to this primordial ignorance, the Mula Avidya. Just like light alone can remove darkness, we saw in Atma Bodha, Parichinna iva Agnanat Tannashe Sati Kevalaha. We saw in Drugdrishya Viveka also. This Agnana, this ignorance is a notion. Bhranti Janya Tadatmya. I'm just trying to remind you that we have gone through this. It can only be removed by right knowledge. Once that Agnana or Avidya is removed, what happens? Tannashe Sati Kevalaha. When this ignorance is destroyed, Swayam prakashate atma. It reveals itself, it shines itself. How? Megapaye amshumaniva. Just like the sun reveals itself when the cloud cover is blown away, like that. Now, let us recap the few of the verses that we had covered last week, starting from 137th verse in the text. For those who are following in the text, Atranatmanyahamati ahamiti Atranatmanyahamiti matirbandha yeshosya pumsaha प्राप्तो अज्ञानाज्जननमरण क्लेशसम्पातहेतुः एनैवायं वपुरिदमसत्सत्यमिथ्यात्मबुद्ध्या पुष्यत्युक्ष्यत्यवति विषयैस्तन्तुभिः कोशकृद्वत् आत्मनि aham iti matir bandha eshosya pumsaha. This identifying the self with the not self. And thinking, identifying with my anatma. I identify, we went through 5 points in this verse. I identify with my gross body. I say I am tall, I am short, I am fat, I am slim. I identify with my subtle body. Or my mind. I say I am happy, I am sad, or I identify with my intellect and I say I am intelligent or dull. This is anatmani atma buddhi. Number one. Number two, prapto agnana. This mistaken identity with the not self due to this avidya or agnana. So this bondage arising from ignorance of my true nature. What am I doing? Forgetting that my true nature is that of absolute bliss, Sukha Swarupa. I am seeking happiness outside. So what does this do? This brings in the miseries of birth and death cycles. Janana Marana Klesha Sampata Hetuhu. While Atma is Nitya, eternal, birthless, deathless. Because of this identification with the body, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji says, I am getting caught up in the short experiences of Sukha, Dukkha, pleasure, pain, Mana, Apamana, honor, dishonor, all these dvandvas. And then the fourth point was, through this bondage, what happens? Body and its identification, I believe, is the real thing. So most of our lives, how are we spending our lives? Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji says, we are spending pampering our body, nourishing it, bathing it. Meaning, I am procuring objects to satisfy my body needs. I am developing relationships with other beings, with other people, objects desired by it. And this leads to bondage. And then we are bound like Tantubihi Kosha Krudvat. Like this silkworm, which gets caught up while weaving its own cocoon, it gets caught up in that, like that. Then we saw the reference, a beautiful reference from Gnanasara by our dear Puja Guruji, Dehatma Bhava. one who is identified with this body, Vishayeshu Ragaha, attachments to objects, Tataiva Karmasu, that ownership, the doership of actions, the Kartrutva Bhava, Satyatva Buddhi Jagatiha Yasya, one who gives this reality to this world, Sayeva Bandhaha Baddhaha Purushascha Dukkhi. He is bound. He always remains unhappy, dukkhi. Then let's recap number 138 that we covered last week. Atasmin tadbuddhi prabhavati vimudhasya tamasa viveka bhavadyai spurati bhujage rajjudishana tato anarthavrato nipatati samadhaturadikaha tato yo sadgraha sahi bhavati bandha shrunu sakhe. See, in this verse, he provided more clarity as to, excuse me, who commits this mistake. Atasmin tad buddhihi, mistaking a thing for what it is not. And just like our classic example that we saw, the snake on the rope. A traveler mistook that rope to be a snake. Just like that classic example, Bhujage Rajju Dishana, mistaking that piece of rope for a snake. Prabhavati Vimudasya Tamasa, the one who is overpowered by this ajnana, by this ignorance, mudha, foolish fellow, he always mistakes what for what it is not. Why? Viveka abhava. He's not thinking, just like he mistook rope for a snake. What follows that? Anarthavrato nipatati samadhatur adhikaha. That wrong notion, great dangers overtake him. Anartha parampara, avidya kama karma. This is the sarigora. Vasana karya chinta. What happens? Tato yo asadgraha sahi bhavati bandhaha. Taking unreal to be real, asat graha, holding on to this unreal, and he becomes bound. Then Shankaracharya began to answer question number 2. Second question asked by the student. 139th verse. Akhanda nitya dvaya bodha shaktya spurantamatmanam ananta vaibhavam samavrunotya vritti shaktiresha samavrunotya vritti shaktiresha tamo mayi rahurivarka bimbam. Bodha Shaktya Spurantamatmanamananta Vaibhavam. This pure knowledge, this pure consciousness, it is akhanda, indivisible, nitya, eternal, advaya, the one without the second, non-dual. Because of this veiling power or the projecting power of Maya, Avarana Shakti, Vikshepa Shakti. These two together, he is saying, brings about this bondage. Samavrunotya Avruti Shakti Resha. This Avarana Shakti, what it does, it comes in, hides the truth because it is of the nature of ignorance. Tamomaya. How? He gives an example. Rahu iva arkabimbam. As though this bright sun is eaten by this dark demon Rahu during the eclipse. Like that, our Atman, our true nature is hidden by this Avarana Shakti due to our avidya, due to our ajnana. Then in 140, verse number 140, Hiro bhute swatmani amalatar tejovati puman anatmanam mohat ahamiti shariram kalayati ततः कामक्रोध प्रभृतिभिरुमं रमं बन्धनगुणैः. One more time. ततः कामक्रोध प्रभृतिभिरमुं बन्धनगुणैः परं विक्षेपाख्या रजसवुरुशक्तिर्व्यतयति. Tirobhute Swatmani. Our true nature first gets concealed. What is our true nature? Amalatara Tejovati. Pure splendor, pure consciousness. Anatmanam Mohat Ahamiti Shariram Kalayati. Once it is covered, the ignorant man identifies with this body. The Rajoguna has this projecting power. What happens after that? Tataha Kama Krodha Pravrtibhiramum Bandhana Gunaihi Param Vikshepakya Rajasa Vuru Shaktir Vyatayati. The projecting power brings in these 6 enemies for us. What are the Shadripu? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Then what happens? Athina Mudaha, Te Pachyante, Naraka Nigudaha. Remember also our ladder of fall that we talked about from Bhagavad Gita. I think I might have that just to recollect that. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha Sangasteshupajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha Kamakrodho Bhijayate Krodhat Bhavati Sammohaha Sammohat Smriti Vibhramaha Smritibhramshat Buddhinashaha Buddhinashat Pranashyati. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha Pranashyati. This is the ladder of fall. And we saw how the ladder of progress in Vajagovindam, all that. Moving on to number 141 today. covering the next verse, continuing on this topic. Mahamoha graha grasana galitatma mahamoha graha grasana galitatma vagamano धियो नानावस्थां स्वयमभिनयं तद्गुणतया धियो नानावस्थां स्वयमभिनयं तद्गुणतया अपारे संसारे विषय विषपूरे जलनिधौ अपारे संसारे विषय विषपूरे जलनिधौ निमज्जोन्मज्जायम् भ्रमति कुमति कुत्सितगतिः कुमति. This man with this perverted intellect, this extraverted mind and intellect, it will lead us to what? Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji is saying, Kutsita Gatihi, a miserable fate. This perverted mind is due to what? Maha Moha Graha Grasana Galitatmava Gamana. As though it is swallowed by the shark or this crocodile called Maha Moha. Utter ignorance. One starts to adopt, because of that ignorance, crooked ways in this world, and they suffer. Then he mistakes Anatma to be Atma and begins to experience various states of existence. Jagrat Swapna Sushupti. Dhiyo Nana Avastham Swayam Abhinayam Stadgunataya. He is made to play several roles by the power of the gunas. We have gone through that in the Gunatraya Viveka already. Because he is clutched, caught by that big crocodile Graha. Poetic, very poetic of. Then what happens? He drifts up and down this boundless ocean of samsara. Apare samsare vishaya visha pure jalanidav. Nimajyonmajyayam bhramati. He looks around this vast ocean of samsara. Apara. It is boundless. It is shoreless. Nowhere you see this end to this. And this ocean, he describes it full of poison. Vishaya Visha Pure. Full of poison for sensory infatuation. See this poetic beauty of Viveka Choodamani. This is what we need to enjoy in this text. In such an ocean, he is like a rudderless boat going with the waves in such an ocean, drowning sometimes, rising sometimes, sukha, dukkha. mana, apamana, all these bandhavas, grasping for a little breath of air. Nimajyonmajyayam Brahmati. This is this roller coaster ride. All our lives. This, he says, is bondage. Then, moving on to 144 verse. एताभ्यामेव शक्तिभ्याम् एताभ्यामेव शक्तिभ्यां बन्धः पुंसः समागतः बन्धः पुंसः समागतः याभ्यां विमोहितो देहम् याभ्यां विमोहितो देहम् मत्वात्मानं भ्रमत्ययम् मत्वात्मानं भ्रमत्ययम्. Together. एताभ्यामेव शक्तिभ्यां बन्धः पुंसः समागतः याभ्यां विमोहितो देहं मत्वात्मानं भ्रमत्ययम्. And because of the hold by these two powers of Maya, etabhyam eva shaktibhyam bandhaha pumsa samagataha. He mistakes this body to be the self, this anatma to be atma, and wanders in different bodies. Vyam vimohito deham matvatmanam brahmatyayam. Iha loka paralokagami vyavaharikaha jivaha. This is transmigration, body to body. He becomes this world traveler, not just this world, from this world to other world, meaning from this world, other world, and goes on around exhausting his vasanas or her vasanas. Now, Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji brings a very famous allegory, illustration, to answer the third question asked by the student. How does this bondage continue to exist? Katam pratishtas. Katam asya bandhasya pratishtita. Let's see that in verse number 145. Bijam samsruti bhumijasya tu tamah dehatmathiram kuro. Bijam samsruti bhumijasya tu tamah dehatmadhiram kuro. Ragah pallavamambukarmatu vapuhu skando savashyakikaha. Ragah pallavamambukarmatu vapuhu skando savashyakikaha. Agranindriya samhatischa vishaya Agranindriya samhatischa vishaya Pushpani dukkham palam Pushpani dukkham palam Nana karma samudbhavam Bahuvidham Nana karma samudbhavam Bahuvidham Bhoktatra jiva kagah. भोक्तात्र जीव kagah. Together. जं संसृति भूमिजस्य तु तमो देहात्मधीरं कुरो रागः पल्लवमम्बुकर्म तु वपुः स्कन्दोऽसवशाकिकाः अग्राणीन्द्रियसंहतिश्च विषयाः पुष्पाणि दुःखं फलम् नानाकर्मसमुद्भवम् बहुविधम् भोक्तात्र जीव kagah. Here, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji brings this famous allegory of samsara vriksha, the tree of samsara. This is this profound Vedanta coupled with this beautiful poetry of the master. This tree, where does it come out of? It comes out of the earth, bhumija, meaning it is born out of Mother Earth. That's why even in Bhagavad Gita, when he addresses Arjuna as Partha, son of Prutu, it is addressed to all of mankind, son of Mother Earth. So this worldly life, this vriksha, this tree, samsara vriksha. What is its seed? Its seed, bijam, is tamas, ignorance. What is this ignorance? I am this body, dehatma bhava. That is the first shoot that comes out of this bija, first seed. Dehatma dhira ankuraha. Then comes attachment, its fine leaves. Ragaha pallavam. All our selfish actions, self-centered activities, what do? They go on to fatten this tree. Strong roots. So our body is the trunk of this tree. Vapuhu skandaha. Desires are its leaves. Action, karma, is its water. You feed it. Pranas are the branches. Sense organs are the twigs of this tree. Vishayaha pushpani, the sense objects. Vishaya, objects of pleasure or its flowers. And different types of actions bring about dukkam and phalam. That is why Bhagavan Sri Krishna also in Bhagavad Gita calls this as dukkhalayam, ashashvatam. Nana karma samudbhavam bahuvidham bhokta atra jivaha kagaha. So this jivatma, this bird sitting on this tree that experiences everything. Bhoktatra jiva kagaha. Jiva experience these fruits of this samsara vriksha that are bitter, that are sweet, some are sweet. And this beautiful allegory is from the Upanishads. This is from the Mundaka Upanishad, the same Example, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji brought it here. Dvasuparna Sayuja Sakhaya Samanam Vruksham Parishasvajate Tayoranyah Pippalam Swavrutti Anashnan Anyo Abhichakashiti. See, in this allegory, there are two birds on the same tree. One on sitting on top quietly. The other is very busy pecking the sweet and the bitter fruits. This is Jivatma, this is Paramatma. What do? Fly. This little bird keeps on flying from one branch to the other, one fruit to the other, meaning chasing objects of enjoyment in the hope of getting a little bit of pleasure, eke out a little bit of pleasure, actually often experiencing more pain than pleasure. Each time it looks up to this other bird in the higher branch, sitting majestically, quietly, and with each of the shock it gets in this experience, realizing gradually that the sufferings are rooted in ignorance and the bondage continues. We can see actually a, this example in the 15th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And Bhagavan Krishna says, Shri Bhagavanuvāca ūrdhvamūlamadhashākham ashvatham prahuravyayam chandamsi yasya parnani yastam veda sa vedavit adhaschordhvam prastutastasya shakha guna pravruddha vishaya pravala adhascha mūlanyanusantani karmanubandhini manushya-loke. Ashwatha in the samsara vriksha, Ashwatha means that does not remain same tomorrow. Therefore, this Ashwatha tree used in this metaphor is to indicate the temporary nature, is to indicate the ephemeral nature, ever-changing aspect of the world. Secondly, the vriksha, this tree of samsara, can be cut asunder by detachment. Why is the tree in this metaphor with its roots up? It's an upside down. Why? In this metaphor, the roots are up because it gets nourished by that divine consciousness alone. Whenever the word urdhva, up, is used, when we say higher up, or when we say high command, or a nobler value, a higher place of reverence. This I would like to call the route to your root. A similar reference of this Ashwatha tree comes in Kathopanishad Sixth valli, ऊर्ध्वमूलो अवाक्षाकः एष अश्वत्थः सनातनः. Similar references. So you had two references from Shruti, one reference from the Smriti Shastra for this verse from Viveka Choodamani. Then we ask the question, where did it all begin? When did it begin first? When did it all start? That he will answer in verse number 146 on this topic. अज्ञानमूलोऽयमनात्मबन्धो अज्ञानमूलोऽयमनात्मबन्धो नैसर्गिको अनादिरनन्त ईरितः नैसर्गिको नादिरनन्त ईरितः जन्माप्ययव्याधिजरादिदुःख जन्माप्ययव्याधिजरादिदुःख प्रवाहपातं जनयत्यमुष्य प्रवाहपातं जनयत्यमुष्य. One more time together. अज्ञानमूलोऽयमनात्मबन्धो नैसर्गिको नादिरनन्त ईरितः जन्माप्ययव्याधिजरादिदुःख प्रवाहपातं जनयत्यमुष्य. So this bondage, Ajnana Mula, this bondage has come from this primordial ignorance. It has come because of our spiritual blindness. Ajnana, it is natural, naisargika. This bondage is anadi, beginningless, ananta, endless. It brings a long train of misery, birth, death, disease. Janma, pyaya, vyadhi, jaradi, dukkha. Is there an end to this bondage? What is the solution? That is the same question the student had asked. Katham vimoksha. The fourth question, which we'll discuss, we'll have 2 weeks break. After the break, we will discuss that. Please stay back for our interactive session if you can. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. May all be happy. May all be healthy. May all see auspiciousness. May none suffer. Om peace, peace, peace. Thank you, everyone.